So, the third batch of Alternium Reactor upgrades has just been released in CounterSide Global. What exactly is the Alternium Reactor upgrade system? Which units can be upgraded? Why are there 5 reactor levels? How do you get the materials for upgrading units? And most importantly, which units are worth upgrading? All these questions and more will be answered in this guide to the Alternium Reactor system. Now, this upgrade system is still new. Maybe even the developers haven't decided exactly where they're going with the system in the long term. I'll be covering all of the available information so far, and if any major changes happen in the future, I'll update the pinned comment. I'll probably make shorter videos when more batches of reactor upgrades are released, so get subscribed if you want to be notified when those come out. I'll also have a little personal tier list at the end, which I may update in future videos. As usual, this video is divided into chapters, so you can quickly get to whatever information you're looking for. So, the Alternium Reactor upgrade system is the newest progression system added to CounterSide, and according to the developer notes, it's meant to be a less resource-intensive alternative to rearms, to make older units more relevant again. According to the lore, Alternium is an alternative version of Eternium, very creative name by the way, unlocked by the administrator with the help of Replacer Roke, and synthesized into specialized equipment by Shinja's corporation, canonically being first used by Jake Walker to become the character we now know as Awakened Jake. Awakened Jake is obviously strong enough that he's not going to be getting a reactor upgrade anytime soon, but that's beside the point. The way it works now is that the reactor upgrades are treated as a 5th equipment slot, which provides a passive bonus. Currently, you can't unequip or disable them in any way after unlocking them, but each gauntlet ban level reduces reactor levels by 1. With only one level being released right now, that means ban units have their reactor upgrades disabled until they're unbanned again. So, why are there 5 upgrade levels for the reactors? Basically, it seems like they exist so that the developers have room to give units additional buffs in the future, whether it's because the first upgrade wasn't strong enough, or because a long time has passed and the unit has been power crept by newer units and other reactor upgrades. So how do you get materials to unlock reactor upgrades? Aside from the 75 fusion cores to bring the unit up to level 110, and the 2 million credits, the 2 new materials that you need are called Pure Possibilities and Tuning Cores. Pure Possibilities are very limited, ironically enough, and it's impossible to have all of the currently released reactor upgrades unlocked. So far, they've been given out as login rewards, shown up in event shops, and side story shops. The side story shop Pure Possibilities are the only sources which are available at any time. Pure Possibilities have been retroactively added to the Ethereal Moonsplitter shop, which was Awakened Chifuyu story, Neverland Nevermore, which is Awakened Sigma story, and were available at launch in Frozen Corridors, which is Awakened Regina's story. However, a Pure Possibilities was not added to the recently released CounterSide Saga side story. We can only speculate as to why, but hopefully plenty more permanent Pure Possibilities sources will be added over time. The other material you need to unlock upgrades is Tuning Cores. In order to get them, first you have to farm the Covert Ops Mission 1-7 for Factor Binder. You're limited to 3 clears per day, so it takes around 6 days to get enough Factor Binder for each reactor upgrade. Next, you head to the Workshop's crafting interface, and then the APT Core tab. Here, you'll find 3 recipes to combine 3 Factor Binders and 3 APT Cores of your choice into a Tuning Core. So you'll need 300 Factor Binders and 300 APT Cores of your choice to make the 100 required Tuning Cores for a level 1 reactor unlock. Non-Awakened SSR reactor upgrades are actually 20% cheaper, costing 1.6 million credits and 80 Tuning Cores, but still require 1 Pure Possibilities. Also, in the original patch notes, they stated that when they add higher level reactor upgrades, those will only use credits and tuning cores, and will not require additional Pure Possibilities after the first one. Now that everything else has hopefully been cleared up, The main question left to ask is, what units are actually worth upgrading? Similar to the rearm system, the Alternium Reactor upgrade system is meant to make older units playable again. Also similar to rearms, you need to invest 75 fusion cores in order to level the SSR units to 110 and make them eligible for the upgrade. What's different is that rearms add leader skills, increase skill caps, and often make large and beneficial changes to unit skills to make them relevant again, while the first reactor level provides a much smaller change by comparison. On top of that, pure possibilities items are limited, so if you end up with a dud reactor unit that you never use, that will mean that at any given time, you'll have one fewer potential reactor unit to work with. This, combined with the fact that the reactor system is just as new in the original Korean version of the game, is why I decided to wait some time until making this guide. I've done my best to evaluate the worth of the reactor upgrades based on my experiences fighting against units using them, and the sentiment that surrounds them in the global Discord's PvP channel, which houses almost all of the leaderboard goblins of CS Global. So, without further ado, which units are worth upgrading? Well, I can say that all of the Awaken Reactor upgrades, that is, Awaken Hilda, Awaken Mina, and Awaken Yuna, are all definitely worth it. Most Awaken units aren't worth using in PvP unless they're at level 110, so if you have the unit because you chose it from a selector or got it from a banner, chances are you already had it at 110. Now, Awaken Hilda specifically is given out as a reward for clearing Chapter 5 of the main story, so if you already have an old account with other Awakened Defenders and Rearmed Defenders, and have cleared die of 50 and such, there's no rush to get her to 110 and unlock her reactor. Nevertheless, if you do, she is worth it. As for Awaken Mina and Awaken Yuna, after the Awaken buffs, they were already quite good, so the reactor upgrades just make them better. As for non-Awakened SSR units, it's a mixed bag. Most of them are playable, especially if upped by the ban and up system in the Gauntlet, but none of them are must-haves for PvP. So let's briefly go over them one by one. I've never seen regular Lee Soo-yeon in PvP, before or after the reactor update. There isn't really a place in PvP for melee damage dealers with normal deployment range and no invulnerability mechanics or other utility. Her reactor upgrade effectively making her a 3-cost unit probably doesn't make her any more viable either. Regular Nayuben, similar to regular Lee Soo-yeon, was at the pinnacle of irrelevance before his reactor upgrade. Now, with the reactor upgrade, his special has some utility, removing all active barriers and preventing new ones for 12 seconds. His damage and HP are bad, however, and the other two barrier removing units and Serena Crew are more meta without requiring limited resources. He's worth it when upped, and part of a team with lots of strikers, but is otherwise not a great investment in the long run. Jaina Kroppel is actually an interesting case. At 4 cost, she's expensive and lacks utility, but her damage is pretty impressive, and the reactor upgrade makes it even more impressive. The invulnerability shields she gets are unremovable, so when deployed to the front lines, she can actually do a lot of work before dying. When upped, she can work in almost any team, especially rush teams. Lee Yumi was mostly irrelevant before her reactor upgraded, especially on weeks when the rearmed defenders are unbanned, since they completely outclass her in utility and survivability. Unfortunately, her reactor upgrade isn't a game changer for her, because the 20% barrier she gets after using her special can be refluxed, or buff blocked by Awaken Yuna or Serena Crew. She's not the worst choice on weeks where most meta defender options are banned, but don't expect too much from her. Karen Wong's reactor was only recently released, and I haven't run into anyone using her in PvP yet. Her reactor upgrade seems promising in terms of boosting her damage, but she costs 4 to deploy and is incredibly squishy. If you can keep her alive, she makes quick work of Awaken Horizon and many other flyers. That's a pretty big if. Since keeping things alive in PvE is usually easier, she looks like she'd do very well there. Jane Doe is the other recently released Alternium Reactor upgrade. She can be a good choice in Matador soldier teams because her damage potential is incredible, but she also costs 4 to deploy, attacks in melee range, and has poor defensive stats outside of her evasion, so she'll die almost instantly if taking direct damage. Overall, among the currently released non-awakened SSR Alternium Reactor upgrades, Jaina Kroppel and maybe Karen Wong seem like the biggest winners, but all of them are playable when upped, when paired with the right teams. None of them are meta-defining, however, so I would say if you're conserving fusion cores and don't already have any of these units at a level of 110, you can probably skip them while they only have level 1 Alternium Reactor upgrades. 3 new Alternium Reactor upgrades have been announced in September's dev notes, but it's noted that the effects may change before release. Lee Jisu's upgrade might be a real problem if it's released as written. Since she's a supporter, neither anti-striker nor anti-defender gear sets will help any more than maze sets against her, and her healing output has the potential to be insane when combined with jungle accessories that boost healing received. Also, her status effect res will greatly weaken healing reflux or heal block effects, while her normal passive will greatly nerf opposing healing output as long as she stays alive. Lanchester's upgrade will make her more tanky, but unless you need a consistent buff remover on your team, I don't think it'll fix the issues with her being a melee damage dealer with no other utility. Replacer Knight has long been a meme of a unit, the only SSR defender with no MDL or valid hit absorption, although she can at least forward deploy like Awakened Mina or Kang. However, this reactor upgrade looks like it might be a complete game changer for her, if released as written. Built fully defensively with high melee and ground res, it will probably take a lot of firepower to bring her down once she's in the back line. I've put together a little tier list of my opinions on the units we've discussed, based on my own experiences and the reported experiences of others. This shouldn't be thought of as the order in which you upgrade them, but instead help you decide whether you want to upgrade them at all at this point. I'll post a copy of this in the pinned comments below, so you can use it as a reference or a reminder of what I think of them. Since there aren't a lot of data points for non-awakened SSR reactor upgrades yet, my thoughts on these units may change, so keep an eye out for updated versions of this list in future reactor videos. So that's all there is to know about the Alternium Reactor upgrade system in its current form. Get subscribed if you want to be notified when I release new guide videos like this and other PvP videos. If you like this video, feel free to check out another one here, or browse my PvP guide playlist to learn about various game mechanics which can help you climb the ranks. Thanks for watching.